welcome. I am here with the beautiful Daneka. We were actually just having a little chat before I hit record, and she made me cry. So I was not in a mean way, in a beautiful way of reminding me of what is possible. And actually, that's the whole reason for this podcast is to just have chats, as you would with the girlfriends, as we do already, but about this industry, which has been a life changer, a game changer for so many, myself included, the last 10 years. I couldn't and wouldn't be the person that I am today without it. So with all that said, this is episode 1, and there was no one else that I'd rather have on but the beautiful Daneka. So welcome. Thank you, babe.
That is so kind. Thank you. I'm so excited.
So what we were talking about was about doing the things that don't bring you joy, but you have to do in life versus the things that you know in your heart you're meant to be doing. And it's something that is even written in my bio, which is literally to stop sacrificing joy just because financially you can't, right? And how many women do that all the time in the smallest of ways, like going to the supermarket and not buying the blueberries because they're too expensive, even though you want the blueberries, to the big ways of like waking up and being excited for your day, which sort of brings me to the beginning with you, which was you were hairdressing, new mum. Like, take us back to your day one, your beginning, your I need to do this moment.
Yeah, totally. So a little bit of my background is that I am a hairdresser by trade and a makeup artist. I left school when I was 15, and I always just knew that I wanted to be in the beauty industry and that I wanted to make women feel good and look good. So I went off and did all my study, and I ended up doing that for 19 years. And I can honestly, hand on my heart, say that I loved it so much. I was so passionate with it. I was super successful in it. And I really built all the way up to, managing a salon and then working for myself and entering and winning competitions and all of that kind of thing. I'm the type of person that if I'm going all in, I'm going all in, and I do it 100%. I'm like all or nothing, black or white, which is sometimes to my detriment, but I wouldn't want it any other way. And then obviously, as we know, if you're a mum and when you have kids, things can change. So we moved overseas, we did our OE, we lived in Amsterdam for a year or so and absolutely loved it. And I got pregnant over there and came home. And I was hairdressing over there as well. Yeah. And I, for the first time in my career, was like, oh, wow, I actually just don't want to go back to hairdressing. But I felt so stuck because, well, for one, I had to because I was pregnant and I knew that we're going to be down to one income. I also wasn't going to be getting mat leave because we had been out of the country. And I just felt this anxiety coming over me, feeling like and knowing that I had to set up my whole business again, which, as we know, costs a lot of money that I didn't have. And just having to do something that normally every day requires so much love, so much effort, and so much kind of energy into loving women and helping women feel good, knowing that that wasn't aligning with me anymore, felt really uncomfortable. And I always said that when I wasn't passionate anymore, that I would give up. Because with hairdressing, you have to love it, because if you don't, I'm being honest, you actually start doing ugly work because it's a creative outlet. It's so you.
Yeah.
And you end up rushing things and you're not fully present and you're not there, and you have to be loving on women every second of the day, which I that is me. I do love that and I always have, but standing on your feet for 12, 13 hours a day, no thank you, not anymore. My body was getting broken. Having to miss out on bedtimes with my kids. I ended up having 2 under 2, so it happened all quite quickly, and I had to go back when my second baby was 5 months old. Wow. Missing out on bedtime, bath time, dinner time, having to work weekends when it should have been family time, rushing for daycare pickup, like rushing for daycare drop-off, being late for clients. Like, it just started to feel really not right. And I just remember one day I was literally breastfeeding my son on the bed, and I just prayed, and I was just like, God, I just need something. I'm so desperate. I don't even know what it is. I feel stuck. I just know that I need an opportunity, and I cannot see a way out because I've done this my whole life. It's all I know. And there just has to be more. And I've always had that deep, deep knowing that there is so much more for me. And I've always known that I'm not 100% fully tapping into all of my gifts and talents. So, long story short, I reconnected with a friend that I had met up with 3 years earlier about starting my network marketing business, which is Arbonne, through health and wellness. And I was so all in at the time. And I just got home from overseas pregnant, and I was like, this is perfect timing. And I came home, talked to my husband, and he was like, no, this is not a good idea. So I really honestly sat on the fence for 3 years, like knowing that this could be something that I would be amazing at, but feeling held back. So it wasn't until I sort of said that prayer, I totally surrendered to all the things that I couldn't control, like feeling like I hated hairdressing, all of that kind of thing, feeling stuck. And I ended up meeting up with Kelly again, who I've met up with 3 years prior at the gym. And long story short, I ended up signing up to the business. I've been doing it this month for 2 years now. So it's my 2-year birthday.
Oh my gosh, and you've done so much in 2 years.
Yeah, it has literally been like a whirlwind. It's been the most incredible, liberating, life-changing, challenging journey of self-growth and just development. It's been absolutely amazing, and it's been really hard. I'm not going to say that it's easy building a network marketing business, but it's hard in a different way.
Yeah.
Because when you love something so much and you're so passionate, it actually comes easy. It's more the self-development actually that's hard. And then looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, where am I falling short? Where do I need to grow? How can I be a better leader? How can I best serve my girls and my team? How can I grow this to the top and help others come with me? And how can I love and serve all of my customers and keep on top of them as well? So it's a constant kind of reevaluating of where am I at, and just always learning and growing, basically.
Did you feel always like it was that new level, new devil? Like every time you thought you'd broken through a new barrier, it was like something else popped up and something else?
Every single time. Yep, every single time, without a doubt. It's just how life works.
Yes.
But as we were saying before, like the challenges that we face are nothing compared to the glory that's going to be revealed within us through those things. The learning and the growth is always like the golden nugget at the end. There's always a reward. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and every single sacrifice and all the hard work is always, always worth it. Nothing worth having comes easy, and we all know that.
That's so true. I love that. So go back to hubby not wanting you to do this business, and so you sat, and sort of didn't move for those few years. I know that we spoke about it before, that really he was just nervous about, the fact that you had tried something a while back and was just kind of worried. And I guess like a lot of husbands do too, right? You've got to pay the bills. We've got to keep moving. We've got kids now, all the rest of it. How does he feel about that decision now? Tell me how many trips you've gone on. You've replaced your income, plus a lot. How does he feel about the business now?
Yeah, obviously he's super supportive now, and he absolutely loves me doing this, and he's seen me grow so much. But really the reason at the start why he wasn't keen, it was just fear. It was fear. It was him caring what other people thought, and him thinking that I was going to not make any money and be wasting all of my time, and I should have been present in newborn stage and toddler stage and all of that kind of thing. But for me, I saw it as such an opportunity to work into all the little pockets of the time that I had when I was sleeping or at daycare or whatever. So now, obviously, through my business, I've earned 2 all expenses paid incentive trips to Vietnam and Thailand. I'm literally probably weeks away from earning my 3rd one, which is really cool. And I get to take my whole family, which is awesome. They came last year to Vietnam. And I've also been to Vegas, spoke on the stage at Gold Coast, won multiple awards, all the rest of it. And it's honestly like just because I'm just doing what I love and it just happens. It's so cool.
I love that. What do you think was the biggest blocker to getting started? Like, so many people we talk to, this is, I think, what always confuses me in a way, because when I learnt this industry, I was like, I'm all in, similar to you. I also know that this business, you're talking like less than a couple of $100s to get started. So similar to you, when I opened up my own Pilates studio, it cost me $25,000 to open, and then made me very minimal money, especially for then that first year. And similar to you, I was trading literal time for money. So if I wasn't available, which was actually what happened in the demise, was my daughter, she was 1 at the time, got really sick. She got 2 viruses at the same time and ended up in hospital. And while I was in hospital in emergency with her, which turned into days in emergency, my phone went dead, first of all, because you're rushing out the door, you don't bring chargers and things. And I couldn't figure out a way to, how am I going to close the studio? How am I going to tell people that I'm not there to teach classes? And while she just slept on me for 27 hours and think they run tests the whole time, that kept playing in my head. Not, I was in tears with this beautiful daughter of mine so sick, but also in my head going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, there's going to be people literally waiting out the front of the studio to come in, and I have no one to help me. I have no backup. I have no plan. Like, this cannot be it, And that was, for me, my absolute, the moment that, like, you praying on the bed, breastfeeding your baby, like, that was my moment too. And so I look at network marketing and go, it's like, there's literally no risk. The risk is you don't do anything. Like, that's the risk, but it's up to you. But I do feel like the fear that holds people back is the fear of judgment, the fear of not being enough, the fear of, I don't have a social media following. What sort of things came up for you at that beginning that were blockers?
Yeah, totally. I honestly, just as you're speaking just then, I just had full body goosebumps, because I'm just like, being a mother is the most important job that we could ever have. We are literally created to have these beautiful babies and bring them up and look after them, and it's just the hardest thing when your heart is torn in so many different directions and you feel like you need to be in another place to where you're meant to be, which is right with your baby, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, when we work for someone else, we're on their time. And even when we work for ourselves, like what I was doing and like what you were doing with Pilates, you don't turn up, or your clients are there waiting for you. You're sick, you have to reschedule everyone. You don't get paid. You want to go on holiday, you don't get holiday pay. It's all of these things, and you've got to manage like your stock and spend thousands and thousands of dollars for all this stuff, in my case, to just sit on the shelf. And it is such a massive investment. And like you said, with what we do, it's literally $109 to sign up for a year to become a consultant. And you order just whatever products you like, share whatever you like, do the business however you like. There's so much freedom in it, and it's just the biggest blessing, because like you said, what you put on is what you get out. You can build it however you want to build it. I think the biggest blockers for me to start with wasn't that I would fail, because like I said before, with my personality type, I knew and decided, and it is all in the decision. It's such a powerful thing. You have to decide when you start. I knew that I was building this business to the top. I didn't know how long it would take me, but I knew that it was happening. For me, it was more what people would think. And another thing was my self-worth. So those were probably the two things. What people would think of me, judgment, and then me not actually really knowing or believing if I was worthy of the life that I could actually visualize. I struggled with that, because I was really content. I've got a beautiful husband, a beautiful, healthy kids. We've got a nice home. He's got a good job. Like, we're just content and comfortable. And I think it's a real blessing to be those things, but it can also be quite dangerous in the sense of getting too comfortable really does hinder growth and opportunity. And I didn't want that. I wanted to live and want to and am living a big, big life where literally only here once. We're here for a purpose, and we need to wake up every day and do every single thing that we can to be the best that we can be and to live out our dreams. Because at the end of the day, the dreams that we have are put on our heart for a reason. It's not just random that we have these thoughts or feelings towards the things that we want to do, and the bigger and the scarier the better, because that means even more that you're meant to do it. Like you might have this random dream of starting an orphanage in Africa. Like where did that come from? Why have you always had that dream? Because it's there for a reason. You're meant to do it. And sometimes it's so hard to visualize and understand the steps to get towards, but it's just trusting the journey, like I said, deciding and committing and being disciplined with the process moving forward in that as well. So for me, with the self-worth thing, it was just a lot of intentional work, self-development, listening to podcasts, making sure that I was around people who were good for me, all of that kind of thing. And then I think with the whole caring what people think, eventually as your confidence grows and you stack evidence of I can do this and I'm doing it and I'm doing well, okay, I'm going to do it again, I'm going to do it again, oh my gosh, and you just grow this confidence by action, those opinions of others, they just fall away, because you realize that if it's any negative opinions, it normally comes from people who are doing less than what you're doing, and it just is making them uncomfortable.
Or just don't understand it too, right? Like so many people just don't understand it. So it's like, cool, like I don't understand, I don't know, rugby, like it was on yesterday or whatever. I was like, I don't understand the sport. Doesn't mean I don't like it, just means I don't know it. Like it's okay. It's just
Totally. And I think a lot of people have these preconceived ideas of network marketing, what it is, what the structure is like, and there are so many different structures in different network marketing companies, and people have so many different experiences. But the problem is that we listen to other people's opinions, like, oh yeah, my Aunt Sally, she started XYZ years ago with such and such company and she made no money and she failed. And then all of a sudden you've got this big preconceived idea on what all network marketing companies are like. It's a massive generalization. But if you do your proper research and actually talk to reputable sources, then you will learn and understand really how amazing and how freeing doing something like this is, because we don't only get to help people with the most amazing natural health and wellness products, but we get to empower women to be independent, to work on their own terms, to make as much money as they like, depending on their effort, and to choose how they spend their days. Like, that is such a rewarding, fulfilling thing when we get to help women do what we love doing, especially women that were in a place of like where I was with postpartum, trenches, didn't want to go back to my 19-year career, you working in the corporate world, being burnt out, being like a little rat on a rat wheel, not knowing how to get off, how to stop. It's just like this opportunity that comes in and it just rocks your world, and you can just literally run with it.
I will also say, like, I took 7 years off having my kids and running my network marketing business. And I remember so many people's opinions at that time was that I would never be able to get back into the corporate world, should I even choose to, that I would never, like, all of this sort of skill would be lost. I can hand on heart say, I learned more in that time period, and then COVID hit and we were locked down for many years, and so I had to make some different choices. But I learned more in that time than any corporate role could have ever given me. My personal development was through the roof. I learned to present and do things like this because I'm talking about things that I'm passionate about. I was terrified of public speaking before this, terrified. And now I can do that in my corporate role without, like from marketing to personal development, to like everything that I learned to be able to feel the fear and do it anyway. It was bigger than any other industry could have ever taught me. And I always say to people, like, don't even think about the money and the stuff for a second. Like, just think about what paying $99 and joint linking arms with people could possibly do just for your life and your personal development, because you will not get that anywhere else. I can tell you right now, like, there's no one else on the planet that will do that. I love your story. I love how quickly you've moved. I love that, it's given you the life that it has. So what from here? Like, I know recently I've seen you, you're just like, you've got a fire in you again. I mean, not that you ever didn't, but I feel like it's just, this fire is like burning brighter than ever before. So what's like the next goal for you? What's the next goalpost? We're going to Vegas soon.
Yes, I guess.
Anything else from there?
I do have a new fire in me, and I think just to touch on that quickly is when we think about business, any kind of business is always going to go up and down. And I think my first year, I just literally skyrocketed. I promoted to like the third level of the business so quickly. It was just all happening for me. Like I literally couldn't keep up. And when I hit RVP, which is the top 2% in the company, I just had to have a break. But one thing that I learned is what's actually really important is to have a breath and not a break. Because when you have a break, you lose momentum. When you lose momentum, you lose confidence. When you lose confidence, you don't want to show up. When you don't show up, your business goes down. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, my business kept pretty steady. But there was a pause there where I felt like mentally I had blockages because I had taken my foot off the gas.
Mm-hmm.
So, over the last few months, I have been really just being intentional about getting my mindset right again. Like really, I'm working towards over the next couple of months going MVP, which is the top 1%. When we hit that, also we get shouted a trip to Maui every January for free, which is just incredible by our company. And I just feel, like it's rising up again inside of me. And that's so cool. And it's just like when you go to the gym, right? Like you cannot be at the peak of your fitness and the peak of your nutrition and in the best shape of your life all the time. Like you almost have to have periods of a break and a rest and then a reset, because you need to be able to have space to actually work towards those goals again.
Yeah. Well, it's no different from any job, right? Like any job, any normal job, you take annual leave. You have a rest where you don't think about the job. And I think that that's, when you treat network marketing as your career, as your job, the thing is you don't get annual leave because you're running your own thing and you're having your own time. And so you run your own time. You can take annual leave every day if you like. But you're exactly right. Like learning to, I used to always say, like, don't quit, just learn to rest.
Yes.
Because you can get to that point where you're like, I can't handle anything. I'm out. I'm done. And then you realize all you actually needed was just a week where you just did not look at your phone. You didn't, speak to anyone. But I think that's the magic of this industry, right? No matter which company you're with, as long as you've built the foundations, they call it the 4-year career for a reason. Build those foundations across 4 years, you can then coast on that forever. Some of my, friends that were hugely successful in network marketing, made millions of dollars, then, burnt out of it, if you like. Just the cycle came to an end after, 4 to 8 years, and went, okay, I've got this money to invest in my next project. I'm going to become this. I'm going to open this business I've always wanted to. Like, it doesn't need to be necessarily the thing that you do for the rest of your life, but like, what an incredible thing to do to be the launch pad to the next, or to whatever it is that you've got the dreams for in your life.
Totally. It's literally the best vehicle, and it teaches you so much resilience and grit and determination, how to have a thick skin, like you said, all the personal development, and it's the best launching pad into whatever else it is that you want to do in your life as well. Like it doesn't have to be the be all and end all. But I guess to finish off with the question that you asked me, where to next, my goal, and I know yours is as well, is to literally just bring as many people up with me in this business. Like I just want every single person to know what this opportunity is, how amazing, freeing and life-changing it can be, and how it can just open up and expand your world so much more than what any of us can ever dream of or think of. So my goal is just to build my team more, bring up my girls, invest in them, help them get to the top of the company. And it's not even about getting to the top of the company. It's about when you get to that point, or even where I am now, you get the opportunity to leave your job. you don't have to do the things that you don't want to do anymore. You don't have to go to the supermarket and, like you said, not buy the blueberries because they're too expensive. Or if you want to buy organic meat, sweet, I can buy organic meat, easy as. Don't have to worry about it being an extra $10. You know, it's the freedom of choice and the freedom of time. Those are the two most important things. So that's the opportunity that I want to share with as many people as possible.
And I think you hit the nail on the head, that it's not about being money hungry, it's about being choice hungry. And like that for me is always it. Like everybody has, you know, things that they want to choose in life. For some, that's traveling the world first class. You know, for me, it's just the simplest of things, you know, exactly as you said, being able to buy all the things that are healthy for my family, being able to decide to go on a holiday just because, to listen to your energy each day and go, today, actually, I'm just going to have a massage, have some time, build some content, you know, that I get to pick that because my energy doesn't feel like, or, you know, exactly as you said, being able to bring other people up. I've always said more than like $1 million in my bank account that lights me up is buying gifts for others to celebrate them. Like
Yes.
literally that is my my why is obviously my family and a big full life. But that feeling of like surprising people with gifts and sending flowers and things lights me up more than anything in the world. Like that is my truest joy ever.
That's your love language.
It is. It absolutely is.
It's so nice.
So tell me, last question. It's a Monday morning. So many people are in a world of anxiety and stress and the week ahead and all the things that they've got to do. But for you, tell me, what does today look like?
Today looks like I dropped my kids off at daycare. I got to come home. I did a couple of hours of work on my laptop. I am going to get a facial actually later this afternoon, which I'm very, very excited for. And then I'm going to do the grocery shopping, and then I get to come home and I get to cook dinner early for the kids so I'm not stressed later, and just tidy up the house and make sure that that's all nice because we're doing open homes at the moment. It's just the time to do that stuff, because if I didn't have time to clean the house and like do the dinner, it's the simple mundane things that I get to do. And like when I started this business, like you, it was about being able to do the simplest things, like go to the gym. I went to the gym this morning as well, like drop the kids off, come home, do whatever I want, get a facial, go shopping, do the jobs, like be able to do things also to support my husband. So when he's home, he doesn't have to worry about picking up the slack because I've had the time to do that, and I'm not stressed and biting his head off and then he's not biting my head off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, for me, it's the simple stuff. It's going to the beach, it's going for a walk, it's pouring into me, being able to catch up with my friends and actually invest in my friendships and relationships.
There you go. And see, pockets of time. You can be at your level of the business doing what you're doing, and it still gets to be pockets of time, right? Like we'll have a team call tonight. You'll no doubt be messages here and there while you're at the beach. You've probably had conversations at the gym this morning. Like that is the work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My love, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for making me cry on a Monday morning before we hit record. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for being a part of my journey, and just thank you for being you. If you hadn't have said yes, it wouldn't have paved the way for me and for many others that, I still yet to come. So thank you.
Thank you so much.